Hey, it's really powerful. We're going into what you believe and how the movements of the day will affect what you believe. We're going to be talking about autoimmune today. We're going to be talking about movements that help autoimmune. We're going to be talking about adjusting your beliefs. It's going to be a really powerful day. So come on in. Put down a single line or phrase for what your intention is for today and how you're feeling. How you're feeling is going to guide this conversation today. So looking forward to seeing what you guys put in. Hello, Mark. How you doing? All you Vancouver people, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at the event. If you haven't got it yet, tickets for the event. People are coming in from out of town. There'll be tickets sold up until the last minute. If you have MS, get in the 28-day reset. That's the way to do it. It's not a single answer, but it's in the reset. You'll find your answer. You've got to clear up lethargic. Hey, Stacy. Hi, Gary. Hey, everyone. Thought it was Ask Me Anything. It is Ask Me Anything. Is there something that you want to ask? Oh, Scott, we could ask you something. Okay. You guys want to sync up with me? I practice chiropractic, guys. It's good, but you should be doing the work yourself and letting them get what's left over. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting poor signal. Okay, let's go and let's sync up, everybody. So if you're out there, do this with me. Let's bring our energy into it. Take your right hand, or right foot over. Right hand underneath left armpit, left hand on top. Turn your head to the left, your body to the right. We're going to take 6 breaths together, 3 through the mouth and 3 through the nose. I'm just going to bring us into sync. So 3, 2, 1, breathe in through the mouth. 2, 3, through the nose. 2, 3. If you did that sync with me, let me know how you felt in the comments. I'm just opening stuff up. I got a lot of weirdness happened yesterday. I had a lot of you could say coincidental events colliding. One of them was talking about a metaphysical reason why certain ones of my teeth are having problems. And I was on an Akashic reading with a transformative lady, and there was this whole thing around lack of self-expression and sexual abuse. And so anyways, long story short, for those of you guys who have been around, may know that I actually had that when I was a kid. And those are the things that led to me being here today. So there's no judgment about it. That's what it was. But the teeth that were affected when we looked at the metaphysical reason, not the standard reason you get for teeth like lungs and stuff like that, but the reason for each and every one of those teeth, it was the issues I was having were related specifically to my life issues. And then a friend of mine, Dr. Sarah, popped in and gave me a really, really pertinent piece of information about her issue, what she's dealing with. She was going to the Mayo Clinic. She wasn't able to reconnect with her body, having AFib and stuff like that. And just in a few minutes, her body changed. And I got to witness something. And that witness something is basically answering questions that I've had about the human body and about a lot of the medical procedures that have been put on people over the last couple of years and what to do about it. It was a super powerful day. It was like everything happened at once. So welcome, it's step 23. Today is about what you believe. It's about manifesting a new belief and manifesting a new belief in what your story is and who you are and what you're going to be. Are you guys feeling that right now? Transverse methylitis? Yes, absolutely. You guys, people ask me this all the time. Do people, here's one of the most common things. I have this disease or this process. Will this get better? The answer is yes. Fascial maneuvers reduce 75 to 90% of the stress in the body. It creates the flow in the fascia, which is the connectivity. It's the information in your body to heal. So if you reduce the stress, increase the hydration, and increase the information flow in your body, there's not a disease, genetic or otherwise, that will not get better in some case. I'm not saying it's going to cure your disease. I'm saying that it's going to remove the thing that's making it worse, which is stress. Menopause, we have women, we have women in their late 50s and 60s coming out of menopause right now, if that's what you meant. I don't believe that women are supposed to be in menopause as early as they are. You'll notice that as more stress comes in society, women are going into menopause earlier. We're seeing it down as early as premenopause symptoms as early as 35 years old right now. And a 40-year-old right now is very common to move into menopause. Well, that's not normal. That's from stress. So if you remove the stress, then the natural cycle of the body takes over. So we are having women report to us in their late 50s and early 60s, they're having periods again coming out of menopause. Hashimoto's, if you guys have an autoimmune issue, we are doing a class on Sunday. You can sign up to the link in our bio. That class on Sunday is an autoimmune class. What we're going to be doing is showing you before and after photos of some people so that you can understand with some testimonials. We're going to be going through the basics, the things that everybody else is missing. Every program that I see out there for autoimmune, it's missing a piece. And we're going to be revealing that piece that it's missing. And we'll be going through that tomorrow, and we'll be answering questions. So we're going to take you through the fascial maneuvers adapted for autoimmune specifically. Belly dancer, dyspnea, diaphragm flutters. Super simple. Just into the resets, the upper and the lower reset for your belly dancer. Repeat the upper and the lower reset daily, 2 times a week or 3 times a week. Do the 45-minute program, because as a belly dancer, you need to have this ratio up here in the hip open. So things like swinger do that, pull over does that. They're not in the quick resets, but those are really powerful.
Hey Gary, there's been a lot of questions in the chat these days about people starting the 28-day reset or doing the 15-minute reset or whatever, and feeling like they have more pain in their body. There's more stuff coming up. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. If you're starting, well, first of all, if you're starting the resets and you're not taking diatomaceous earth and Irish sea moss, you are likely to have more pain and dysfunction, because it's like exercising parts or muscles. It's moving tissue that you have probably never moved before or haven't moved since you were a kid. So the first thing is, the number one cause of pain while doing the resets is dehydration. And you could have dehydrated tissue that's breaking up, and that's okay too. So make sure you're hydrated before you ask that question. The second thing is that when you're moving tissue that hasn't moved in 10 or 15 years, like when you do pullover like this, most people have not moved this tissue in decades. You're going to have some pain signals that are going to come from that because it's opening up. And usually they'll go away in 2 or 3 days. But the most important part is to know that when your body goes into a healing mode, if your body, first of all, if you're in a constant state of chronic issues, your body's not healing itself. That's why chronic issues get worse. So when you start doing something to heal your body starts cleaning itself. So you're going down, 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 down. Then you get down here, you start doing something. Your body says, I can start working. So the first thing is, quite often, is a breakout or a detox that looks like a flu or something like that when people start the maneuver. It's super common. And that's how you know it's actually working. If your body hasn't been repairing or fixing itself for a long time, then all of a sudden when you start taking care of yourself, you start having flu-like symptoms. You think it's COVID or something like that. Right there at that moment, you know your body's healing itself. Hey, Don. That's pretty awesome. Let's talk. No, I am sick right now. No, if you're sick, That leads to death. You may be detoxing. So change your narrative. Sick is a condition that leads to death. I'm never sick. I detox from time to time, and my body has to come out of that. ASD kids, ADHD. Okay, ADHD in kids is a rising phenomena. I'm 54 years old. This did not happen when I was a kid. We didn't have ADHD. So what is cause of the sudden rise? Well, there's a lot of things. Number one is chronic dehydration will cause ADHD symptoms, including memory gaps and delays, anxiety and depression. Also, another one that's going to cause ADHD symptoms is chemicals. If I take chemicals right now in my food, I get anxious, my brain starts to skip, I get jumpy and fidgety. And that's what happens. You have to remove these chemicals from the diet. If you want to know and you have kids, we have a parents that are helping kids program. It started off with kids that were all on the spectrum. And they were taking kids off the spectrum. Even one child that we were working with recently reduced 50% of a blastoma, brain tumor, and within a couple months, and started reversing the condition. Doctors, the only thing they could say is keep doing what you're doing. So you can go to our chats and you can type in, you can ask them to be put in the parents group, and you go in the parents group. You guys, this parents group is for people that want to help their kids. We're not there to prove anything to you. If you want to follow the protocols, there are doctors and therapists of all kinds in there. There are all kinds of moms and dads that are bonded together to help with these disorders in their kids. Hi, Don. Your account won't let you. Yeah, you have to be not private to go live. Well, thank you, Don, anyways. So if you guys, we are doing an event in Vancouver. If you're anywhere in the Vancouver area, don't mess around. Get in your car and go. It's 10 to 1. If you got something going on in the afternoon, come in the morning. You'll be done. The power of those group events is transformative. For anybody who's been to a group event, you watch any of the videos. It's when we heal together in community. That's the way it was supposed to be. If you have a chronic issue and you're trying to heal by yourself, it's going to be hard. You need community in order to make that happen. Yeah, so just if you want to be part of the parents group, go into our DM, send a DM to our group, and they'll give you the link. Yeah, face and skin exchange. And thank you, everybody. I wasn't depressed yesterday and the day before and the day before. I used this iPad, and it forced me to look down. So I was looking down the whole time at the camera, and people were like, "Are you depressed? Are you okay? Is there something wrong?" No, I was like, I couldn't look at the screen. I had to look down in order to talk to people. Yeah, signed up for the autoimmune class. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate that. And those signups, guys, not being able to get live with you. Oh, wow, Sony. Hey, Sony, we're going to see you tomorrow. I was at Joshua Tree. It was amazing. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Guidance with help with, yeah, we're going to have a powerful event. And you guys, the event itself this is the time that you're going to see the event that's coming up. We are in a state where it's the Sun and Neptune crossing. It is one of the most transformative days to restore balance into your life and into your belief systems in like thousands of years. Like, it just happens to be on that day. My jaw and my hips are so tense and tight. How do I overcome this? Almost certainly, if you have a chronic issue with that, it's dehydration. So Diatomaceous earth, Irish sea moss. Go through the upper and the lower reset. Start off with the upper reset. Day 1, day 2, do the lower reset. Add the barefoot sprinter routine number 2. It's on our website. Do those daily. Upper reset, barefoot sprinter. Next day, lower reset, barefoot sprinter. This is a good question. If you're taking CMOS and you're worried about iodine, whenever you take an issue out, like you take melatonin out of it, or you take tryptophan out of amino acids, then it becomes a medication, and medications are going to disrupt the natural flow of your body. I have people that have iodine sensitivities. And when you take it in a natural form like sea moss, where all of them are balanced, then you're not going to have an issue. I'm not saying I'm not going to say that you're not going to have an issue. I'm saying that of the thousands of people that I've had that have had iodine issues, when they take Irish sea moss, they don't have those issues, because when you put it's when we extract iodine out and when we increase the balance, the dosage of it, it's going to have an offsetting effect in our body. Parents group, yeah, okay, just get in. So yeah, I think you got that. Just DM us. Oh, Courtney, awesome. Bring a 7-year-old man and a friend. Yes, that's awesome. Awesome. Signed up for the autoimmune class. Mercury filling removal. Kathy Campbell, therapy. Make sure you have a dentist that knows how to do it. You have to look around your area, ask around. Mercury removals, they have to be done right. You know, it's not the mercury in the tooth that's the problem. It's the biting of it. Because when you chew, it actually, every time you chew and you hit it, it off gases, and it's like gas you're breathing in. So when they're drilling it off gases. So they have to be trained in that technique. What's the best thing to drink first thing in the morning? I drink my urine. Usually an alkalizing drink. I mean, I drink high pH water and diatomaceous earth. And usually a little bit of Irish sea moss is the first thing I drink in the morning. Then I have a cacao. We're not planning to be in Seattle, Astrid, but you're only 2 hours. Come on up. We have classes that happen here twice a week too. We have lots of people come up from Seattle. Thank you for saying you're there at Joshua Tree. If you have any comments about what you got out of Joshua Tree, put it in the comments. I don't think people who haven't been to a live event, I don't think they appreciate it. It's like watching hockey on TV and then going to the arena, or watching football on TV and then going to the arena. Partner maneuvers for autoimmune class. Yes, we will be doing some partner maneuvers, but not a lot, because most people are there individually. We'll show you the ones that you can do. Yeah, so we'll point you to the best maneuvers for autoimmune. If you have an autoimmune issue, one of the best things you can do is you can do the partner maneuvers. They will help the fastest, but you can do these yourself too. My mind jumps when I listen to the STH. I'm not sure what that is. Plantar fasciitis. How do you fix it? It's the lower reset and the barefoot sprinter routine number 2. You're going to need to have minerals. Plantar fasciitis almost always. I've never seen a case actually that it wasn't involving dehydration of the fascial tissue. Because if you want to talk about plantar fasciitis, I've had it like maybe a dozen times over the last 3 years, where it comes up and then I move the tissue around my ankle, my heel, and then it goes away. But as that tissue starts to open up, the flow or the toxins start to come out, and initially it causes pain. And cracking of the heels too. I got cracking in the heels that would come up and then go away, come up and then go away. The date of the event, if it's in Vancouver, it's tomorrow. Drive on up, get in a car. There's a train that comes up here too. I got my cord out, and the right side of my neck hurts. Massage care, NMT, I'm not sure what you're saying. I'm thinking you got a port out. Is that a PICC port, PICC line? I'm not sure. I'm fasting. Have no idea what I'm doing. I juiced watermelon and lime. It felt like the first time I got drunk. Yeah, there you go. That means your body's in stress. So Joey Malik, if you haven't done it while you're fasting, do the stress reset or do the 45-minute reset. And when you're fasting, if you're juice fasting, great. Try to get a day of water. And the way I fasted, here's how I came to it. I didn't read anything. I wanted to experience it myself. I wanted to learn myself. So I started off, my first time fasting, I started off doing soups for 2 days. and I did heavy soups and then light soups, and then I did juice for 2 days, and then I did water for 3 days. And that's how I got into my fast. And when I came out, my recommendation is that you do juices that are strained juices, like juice, like not like a smoothie at first. And I recommend that you do juices and vegetables separately, but I recommend you do that for a day when you come out. Then go to soups, like do cold and raw first, then add heated second, because the enzymes used to digest heated are different than the enzymes for raw. Raw vegetables, your body gets enzymes from the raw vegetables and the raw fruits. When you cook it, it loses the enzymes, so your body has to produce it. So you want your body to get those enzymes first, and it starts a cascading series of producing. Like as human beings developed, or as we evolved, we ate raw food first, and then we ate cooked food after. This is one of the problems with dogs. Is why dogs are so sick. Is that we cook their food. All the dog food is cooked. But dogs, in nature, animals aren't used to cooked food, and they didn't have the enzymes from it. So that's why it's causing so many diseases in dogs. Any thoughts on sea moss and heavy metals? Sea moss will help you clear the heavy metals, but if you're having heavy metal issues, take diatomaceous earth. You can take zeolite as well, but diatomaceous earth is the best one to take, in my opinion, because of the silica complex, and you need that silica. Diatomaceous earth, the diatoms bond with the heavy metals. It actually, diatoms encapsulate the heavy metals so that it processes up. Hypothyroidism. Yes, people with hypothyroidism, I would recommend the whole 28-day reset. The number one cause of all of this stuff is dehydration and chemicals in your food. I mean, we didn't have these diseases 50 years ago. So what's new? Well, the body went from 70% water to 60% water in the last 20 years. And we added, in the last 40 years, especially the last 20 years, we added chemicals to everything. There's chemicals in everything you eat today. You can't, like, it is bizarre going out, like we don't go to restaurants, and we go to a few. There's a very few that we actually go to that we can. I have a trigger thumb. Can you help? Yes, Astrid. Any kind of trigger issues at meridian. Thumb is a lung meridian, usually connected to grief. Start with the upper reset, the wrist release, and the hand release. But you're going to need, if you have a trigger thumb or a trigger finger, guaranteed you have dehydration in these tissues. You're going to need to hydrate yourself. The primary issues that people are dealing with, you've got to get the hydration going, and you can't drink water to do it. You need minerals right now, because minerals are being depleted in that sky every single day right now. I've been making my own Irish sea moss, taking for months. Does it have a daily amount of iron needed in it? I would eat things like iron-based vegetables, like leafy irons, like spinach and stuff like that. I would start adding that in if you need more iron. But if you are taking Irish sea moss and you're not taking diatomaceous earth or silica, you're probably not absorbing enough right now. This is what I find. I find people doing everything right. They're taking sea salt. They're taking like Himalayan salt. They're doing all of these other things, and they're trying to make them work. But if you don't have the silica in your body, nothing is going to absorb properly. Not one mineral, not one vitamin, not any water. You have to have right now, because of the chemicals in your clothing, the chemicals in your food, and the chemicals up there in that sky. It's impossible right now to have a balanced diet to bring in enough silica. That's why the healthy people are getting sick right now. Hey, holistic dentist, Kathy Campbell Therapy. I want to talk to you. How to open fascia around the lungs, upper reset, and again, minerals and hydration. The upper reset will help. Also, pull over, which opens up the fascia around there. Elbow torque, which is in the barefoot sprinter routine, opens up the fascia around there so the diaphragm works. Kathy Campbell Therapy. Are you able to talk? I'd love to talk to you if you're a holistic dentist. You're in. You're in luck. I have been experiencing lots of phlegm in my throat. I sleep at night. Um, if that's recent, I would make sure you're adding the minerals. The diatomaceous earth and the Irish sea moss usually help clear up the mucus and the upper reset. Just do that. If you're taking those in the upper reset and you still have an excess amount, your body's detoxing. But right now, there's a lot of detox going in around the lungs. And the reason why is because of the chemicals. We're breathing in barium, strontium, aluminum. Strontium is a radioactive chemical that launches in the lungs. Barium depletes our silica. Strontium sits in the lungs, and then when you're highly stressed, or when there's a lot of EMF frequency, it creates an issue in the lungs, and we get a pulmonary issue. So we get a release of mucus. Yes, drinking my urine. Taking your supplements for several months. Can I take CMOS? Yes, take CMOS in addition. I want you, listen, I appreciate that you take our supplements. It helps fund our mission. And that's how we pay for stuff right now. That being said, I don't want you to be reliant upon supplements. These minerals used to come in your food supply. I want you to take Irish sea moss and put it in soups. I want you to put it in drinks and smoothies, because then your body starts to crave the drink and the smoothie. Your body can't start craving pills. It will, but if it does, that's not it. Your body's not linking that pill or that craving to a food. You want your body to crave a food, which is a hormonal release, with the minerals. So as much as I want you to take our supplements, and thank you for doing that, please get diatomaceous earth. Please get Irish sea moss. Diatomaceous earth, I put it in the water, and I crave the water in the morning with the diatomaceous earth. Magnesium deficiency. I mean, you can take magnesium, you can put it in your bath, but if you have any mineral or deficiency, getting the minerals in your body, usually like people say, I need more iron. Well, they take more iron, it doesn't work. It's because your body's not absorbing, and that's going to come through the small intestine. That's where the diatomaceous earth and the Irish sea moss come into play. Okay, UT Astrid, we'll see you next time. UT got me out of digestive distress with HGFM, of course. Awesome. HGFM took me a minute. Human garage fascial maneuvers. You want to talk about it? I don't want to talk about it. It's cytomegalovirus. Is that what it is too? Cytomegalovirus. Hello, cytomegalovirus.
Hello.
Did I get that right?
Yes, it's my
Hi,
initials.
what's your name?
Christine.
Hi, Christine. Christine, where are you?
I'm in McAllen, Texas.
Oh, McAllen, Texas. Are you traveling on a motorhome?
Oh no, that's next to the house. My daughter's going to be traveling for a job.
Christine, when's your birthday?
August 17th, 1976.
Yay! Man, I gotta tell you, it's you Leos have been popping up 16th and 17th, so I'm assuming you're the same degree. Do you know your degree of Leo?
I don't. I'm just so new. I'm trying to learn. It's like a foreign language.
Yeah. You know, the best way to do that, actually, I mean, if you want to go to the Human Garage website and our partner page under products, and Serious Joy, you sign up for it. You can do it for $4 for the first month, and it will teach you about your astrology, and you'll learn a little bit about it. It'll give you a head start, and if you want to continue. But for $4, it'll tell you a lot.
Awesome.
So tell me about your journey with urine therapy. How long you been doing it?
Just like a few weeks. I was never comfortable with it, and then I heard you talking about it, and I found you because my long-term tennis elbow was that nothing else helped. I tried everything, and it went away like with one maneuver. So when you talked about UT, I was ready to, I was willing to try. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just
What
going
was
through a
your
bunch of,
experience out of curiosity? Well, first of all, what's that first time when it, was it like, oh my God, I'm about to do this?
well, I tried it the way you suggested it, and the lime made me, I like lime, but I didn't like it with the urine. So I put it in like a botanical tea,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I really liked it. So yeah, it barely tasted like urine. So
And how often were you like, how long have you had digestive issues?
my whole life, my whole life. My digestive issues came back up recently because of doing homeopathy and just a bunch of stress with a wedding and different stuff like that. So
So, and so how long after starting urine therapy did the digestion issues go away?
I would say within a couple days or a week, the bloating went away. That it seemed like it was from food items, but I think it was stress. But yeah, it just completely went away.
Anything else you noticed about it? Like clear energy or clarity or
I definitely had more energy. I have a hard time. I have a hard time focusing on those things that are helped because there's so many factors involved. So,
yeah. Yeah. So, we got, I mean, we've had a very polarizing effect when we started talking about this. I mean,
hmm
we lost
right,
thousands, like maybe 10,000 people went away. And they said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, and there's a lot of arguments about science or not. But what we do is I don't believe any of the science, actually, to tell you the truth. I
right.
try stuff myself. If it works for me, I try it with other people. If it works for them and I get a big enough sample size, then I tell people about
Exactly. That's how I've healed and gotten better, and so and I just keep improving. I'm glad I found you guys.
it. Oh, this guy's, I can't believe what rubbish I'm hearing unfollowing this rubbish page. Hi, Eric
Yeah,
Fa. Yeah, that's okay. You can unfollow. And
yeah. Those
when you're
people are
in real trouble with your back, neck, and all that stuff, come on back. We'll accept you back.
right, right. Those people are on their own journey. They might come
Yeah.
back if they, when something's bad enough, they're like, I'm willing to try anything. So,
Usually that's what happens. If somebody who's doing that is somebody who says that is somebody who hasn't actually tried fascial maneuvers or gone through any of the resets of the program. Somebody who's gone through a reset or program, they have a higher level of belief because, like you said, your tennis elbow. If it had to work for your tennis elbow, then maybe not. But if all of a sudden what we say works for something, then you go, oh, wait a second here, I can do this.
right, exactly.
Well, that's awesome. When did your daughter get married?
December 2nd. So that's all over. So, and it wasn't that stressful. It was just a lot of things coming at me and relationship stuff. And so, yeah, yeah.
Well, you're a
So
master
that,
level Leo, so you're being called to find what right now. It's like, what do I really believe about myself and my
yes,
mission
that's
in
been a
life?
long, it's been a while coming, happening. So, yeah.
Yeah. Are you feeling better now?
I am. My digestion is moving and more normal and not painful. So, yeah. So it's good.
Hmm. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. If you haven't done it yet, 28-day reset, lifestyle artist
Yeah.
program. There's a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
of
on the
other
17th
master
day.
level Leos in there that are looking for you.
Awesome. How do I find him? I'm on day 17.
Oh, okay. When you the lifestyle artist program is where you
Oh,
start connecting
okay.
with people. So yeah, you're pretty close to there.
I see. Okay. Something to
Yeah.
look forward to. Okay.
Are you attending any of the weekly online classes like the yeah? How are they?
Yes.
How do you like
Yes.
that?
I like them. Sometimes I'm very, I don't know if shy is the right word, so it's been hard getting used to it, but I've enjoyed it, and even I've listened to some pre-recorded ones, and that's been really helpful. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. You're a Leo and you're shy? Come on.
It's it's more like I don't know. I don't know. Shy isn't the word. I don't know how to describe it. So yeah, because if I have something to say, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I think it's more you're just figuring out who that new person is that you've been working on for the last couple of years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I look forward
Okay.
to seeing you in the Lifestyle Artist program.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that was funny. Rubbish page, I'm unfollowing you. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. We just talked to urine therapy. Yeah, it really pissed him off. He was saying no shit, and I was saying yeah, shit. Okay, David's breathing is fast, even when he's saying. It's fast when he's sleeping. Where can I buy DE powder? DE powder you get off Amazon. Hello,
Hello,
hello.
how are you?
Good. I
Oh,
love your oven mitt.
how do I? 1 second.
There's a little
There.
yeah. There you go.
I'm technologically a little challenged.
Technologically challenged.
Instagram for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm
It's
feel
the
you know
only
I
reason I
feel that
use
a little
Instagram.
bit today. I mean, I was
Really?
saying to Jason, whoops, got some feedback there.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So what's your name?
Shira.
Vera?
Shira. Shira.
Oh, Shira. And Shira, where are you located?
Toronto. We've spoken before, but
Oh, yeah. Okay, well,
I
maybe
just
it's the,
changed
maybe
what's
it's
on
the,
my head. So,
it's the
yeah.
toque. It's a toque. Okay, and what's your birthday again?
July 12th. I'm a 20-degree Cancer.
Oh, right, you're Grandmaster Cancer.
Yeah, I
You're
still don't know. I still don't understand the Grandmaster thing, but I don't
well,
know what I'm.
so a Grandmaster, you're here to be. It's like what's going on?
Nothing. You're good.
Okay,
Just not taking any iPad.
okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
You gonna put it back so I could use it?
Hi, Cynthia.
Oh,
Here, you can say hi to her while I put the iPad back.
okay. Hi.
Hi,
Sure.
I'm Shira.
Pardon?
I'm Shira.
I know. Hi, Shira.
I'm waiting to meet you one day, and I want to hear more from you.
You do?
Yeah, we love Gary, but we don't get to. I don't. I feel like we just, you know.
You want more of my stuff, huh?
I think so. Yeah, I think the world does.
Oh, thanks, Shira. That's really sweet. Thank you. I
we
appreciate you saying that.
we tell her that all the time. She's a
Okay.
Pisces. She's hiding in the background.
I'm
Yeah.
always to the side.
Well, but one day you'll step forward.
Yes. One day. Huzzah. I'll be here.
Beautiful.
I do. I'm getting ready for a call, my own call, so I have a call. Nice to
Okay.
see you, and I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Yes, hopefully one day soon.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody goes
Yeah.
from lifestyle artist level 1, level 2 meets with her.
Yeah.
That's one of their first things.
Okay.
Yeah. So
The
Appreciate you.
Grandmaster.
yeah,
The
the
Grandmaster.
Grand Master part, Shira, is basically if you believe in past lives. So that means in that state of awareness, which is cancer,
Mm-hmm.
you've 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 lived there many times. So you're good at it. So you come into this world as a caregiver. And usually, in order to become a caregiver, the first 30 years, it's like you're coming like an empty shell. So you have to be programmed. So the first 30 years, you're Saturn returns. Usually, there's a lot of difficulties around whatever you're going to be a master at. So a community, family, caregiving, or the converse could be there's a super large amount of support around that. So either really supported in that or really not supported in that, because if I'm not supported, I learn to be it.
Mm. Yeah, I think, yeah, I am a very good caregiver to many of people, and I don't even have to know them. Uh, but I often wonder then who's going to take care of me, you know,
Well, I mean, okay,
besides for me.
here's where the mastery is. The mastery is learning that I take care of me, and
Right.
and then I accept help from others. Because if my care comes from external, if I'm always looking external for care, then I'll never get it. If I look internal for care and I care for myself, external care will come all the time, because my external world is a reflection of my internal world.
That's interesting. Yeah, I definitely since starting all this, which I only found you, I think, at the end of June, I definitely see that little bit of shift. I feel like it's still coming, like it's still not there, but, and I also feel, so two things I wanted to ask you. Sorry, I'm wearing a glove because I'm cooking and I have this nasty, right where you bend the top of your finger,
Yeah.
there's like, it's split right at the bend and it keeps getting bigger
Which
and deeper.
finger? Which finger?
Right index finger.
Oh,
So
okay.
what,
So
it just
a
won't
little
go
bit of
away.
anger, little
Okay.
bit of anger.
Mm. Okay, so is it connected to my liver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, for those of you guys who are acupuncturists or whatever, fascial connections is different than acupuncture because every meridian, every organ is represented on each hand in reflexology and in meridian medicine, but in fascia, it's only one finger per organ. So
Hmm.
one of the things is that you can do the upper reset, the elbow torque, the wrist release, and then the hand and finger release.
Mm-hmm.
That will
Okay.
help bring it there, and most likely there's some hydration issues.
Well, I have the DE and the CMOS.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
and I also, my brother-in-law, he's had 5 knee surgeries and he has a leg length discrepancy. And he got off pain meds and I handed him a bottle of Power Carp and he takes it in the morning at night and he said like he can function without the pains just, he's like, okay, I'm okay.
It's
So,
pretty cool. So what you can do for him, are you local to him? Physically local?
yeah.
The partnered maneuver series, if you do that for him, it'll fix the discrepancy pretty quick. Because you think about it this way, what happens is leg length discrepancy, I turn this, one leg goes up, literally. And so when you do the belly button trauma release, the ileocecal valve release, the partner releases where you pull like this and on the legs, it will usually get them out of that and the back pain will go away. Because eventually even the power kirk is making it looser, but eventually it's going. So basically what happens is I get stressed, tighten up, and my body torques. Well, that one leg comes up. And that
Yeah,
power kirk's helping him drop the stress out.
I think he was born that way with that discrepancy. So,
I would be surprised, to be honest with you. It's a hip. It's like this because the hip can change very easily, but the actual discrepancy of the length of the leg, I've only
yeah.
met like 5 or 6 in my entire career of
Okay.
tens of thousands of people because what happens is the hip goes up like this. That's very common, but that's because of an emotion, and the fascia holds it. But as you do fascial maneuvers, it'll unwind.
Okay. Also, I wanted to ask you, is it, I think you said that things come up, I think in the past, like emotionally, that you've kind of dealt with just to say, hey, I'm here, like, you
Yeah,
know, what are you trying to teach me? What about physical symptoms that come up, like,
yeah, yeah,
that come
absolutely.
back? So, so how to, like the
Every
emotion,
pain that I've ever had, like a major injury, I'll give
yeah,
you one. I had this. I used to take a baseball and put it behind my back when I drive a car because it was so bad in that area, right? And that was my spleen and my stomach area with my large intestine. Spleen on the Sagittarius. Sagittarius all about worry.
okay,
So that's the area. So what happened was, I remember the first time this happened was before fascial maneuvers, is when we were doing the fascial therapy at the Human Garage. I remember driving around, and all of a sudden I had that pain again, and I had to take a ball and put it in there. And then I go, oh, I remember this pain. And I said, why would I have that pain? And I said, it must be going away. And then instantaneously that afternoon, it went away and it never came back. And that was the start of pains coming back in my body, including, like I tell this, I'm not sure how public I told this. Actually, I'm not going to tell it very publicly, guys. This is not the right format, but I had some physical issues, some scars in my body that were created through an event that I wasn't very proud of. And years later, a decade and a half later, those scars came up out of my body, out of nowhere, like just came up out of my
hmm,
body and then went away. So the body, when I have a pain and a dysfunction, if I don't, there's components to it. Number one is a physical issue, an
mm-hmm,
emotion like anger, and then a narrative, a story I tell myself. And as long as I tell myself that same story, I reinforce the emotion and then the narrative and the physical and the body. But when I start taking care of my body, I usually get another chance to tell a new story. And when I
Okay.
tell that new story, then the pain goes away.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that because just about 13 months ago, I was in an accident and been working on my concussion. But I never had glasses before. These are actually prisms. I had 20/20 vision my whole life, and my eyes, like, just because I wanted to go on live with you, I'm actually looking at the screen because it's really hard.
Yeah.
But the eyes don't converge, and every time I try and I do therapy, like last night, I got every symptom that I've ever had. So I had trouble with my jaw, my eyes. Everything was like I was screaming, and I felt like I was like all the symptoms were like um what's the word? Like recoming, like
Coming
like
back. Yeah.
coming back, and I was just like screaming and thinking. My husband's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I think so." But it's just like sharp pain and
Yeah.
everything coming, and I'm like, "Why is this here? Like, just go away!" Like,
It's coming back so that you can tell a new story about it, a new perception about it. And
okay,
that's normal. That happens with everybody. If you haven't done it yet, there's a head and neck masterclass you can DM us for. Jason does it, and he does all the eye movements. That would be really powerful. And the eyes are linked to fear of the future. Like I'm afraid of what's coming at me,
I
and
feel
it's
like,
also
well,
linked
I
to the
think I
bladder.
have that. I have
Yeah,
that definitely. I worry and I fear about that, and I feel things in the world, like I can go to somewhere in another country and feel the energy from the past, and like I
now
could
you
be
know what a
somewhere.
grandmaster cancer is.
Oh, like I could go somewhere and start crying, and everyone will be like, "What's?" I'm like, "Somebody was killed here," and then the tour guide will start talking about like murder,
Yeah,
and I'm like, and then when I leave there, I'll stop crying.
yeah.
But it just,
Yeah, you're feeling you're a grandmaster cancer. Cancer is all about feeling. It's the number 2. It's color yellow. It to deal with your intestines or the primary issues.
oh yes,
Yeah, these are all
yeah.
things that go with cancer. And so a lot of it is this is why the 28-day reset and then the lifestyle artist program is to help you learn how to integrate these skills. These are superpowers, but if you don't know the superpowers, then they're kind of freaky in your body.
Well, well, Louise calls me a witch. You can ask him about that.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it. I mean, you feel, but that's your superpower. But it's learning that when I feel it, it's not me. So like, if I'm very still, like if I'm moving in water, like okay, you're on the ocean or you're on a lake, and you're just sitting in the water, and there's clouds over, so you can't see any reference points. You don't know if you're moving or not. The only way know you're moving if you can see a reference point, especially in water. And so one of the things that you do is you learn how this is what the maneuvers are doing. It's you're calming yourself down inside. So once you're down, once you can be still inside, then you can start to observe the water or the people, the situations moving around you. And for you, it's really important because you're going to feel everybody always. But if I
Mm-hmm.
know it's somebody else, I don't then buy into the narrative. I go, okay, that's that feeling. Thank you for informing me. And then I can let it go because the feeling is a sensation that your body's saying, hey, I need you to pay attention to something.
Right. Okay. I guess lately I've had to pay lots of attention. So I have to learn, I think, from Jason. He talks a lot about perception changes, and he has all these little things that I always hear him saying, and I have to start
He's a master at
trying
it.
trying to shift
Jason
my
is a
brain
master.
that way. Yeah.
He's a master at being able to understand how he feels and change his perception. Like he's so calm sometimes. It's like, I'm we're both Sagittarius. You'd think that we're completely different because he's
Mm-hmm.
so calm and can sit there and his Aquarian nature can pull him out of the situation. He can sit there while chaos is going on, watch it, and then come and then adjust his perception and act.
Yeah. I really admire that about him. I notice that a lot in when he does his lives, but also in some of the video guys you have where he just subtly says something. And I don't know if a lot of people miss it because I notice all those little things that he says. And I'm like, oh, how did he just do that. And I look forward to being able to do that for myself because I need that in my own self, I think.
Well, so as a Grandmaster Cancer, you notice every detail.
Yep.
And part of it is to notice it all, but not buy into every detail. Like, in other words, it's deciding which ones are important, because you don't need to make everything important.
Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate you bringing me up and for everything you guys do. And I'm really, really hoping that one day you're going to do an event that's not on a Saturday, so people like me who are Sabbath observers can actually attend in person.
You sent the message in about that, right? I saw
No,
that. Yeah.
that was Leah. That was
What's
Sparkle
funny?
Butterfly.
Most of our events in the past have been on Sundays. The last couple that like Joshua Tree and this one, we didn't have a choice. It's because we are literally like venued out of space. So we prefer Sunday and Wednesday for events. But this last couple, because of external circumstances, they've been on Saturdays.
So let's put it out there. I know you don't have plans because Toronto's really boring. Come to Toronto. Let's do an event on a Wednesday.
No, I'm open to Toronto.
Yeah.
You guys are building a community out there. We're gonna. Our commitment is to go where where people build community. Like, well, I don't need to go and stimulate something, but if there's a number of people that I can identify in an area, then it's like those are sparks. We're gonna pour gasoline on sparks. So wherever the communities are, we're gonna show up, and you guys are on the list. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to see you on Sunday. I'm going to join Daniela and I are going to do the class together.
Yeah, cool.
We'll see you then.
Autoimmune class is gonna be good.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, looking forward to meeting you in person.
Me too. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, hanging out with Daniela, Grandmaster Leo and a Grandmaster Cancer. That must be fun. Lourdes Gillingham, is that right? Mild winter depression. Yeah, if you're May 11th, okay, yeah. You got to get out and get in nature. And that's probably one of the things. As a Taurus, you need to physically be out in trees, even if it's cold. You get out every day. And doing the lower reset as a Taurus with the organ reset, the lower reset will help you open up. It's a serotonin, and you get it naturally from being in the trees. Sparkle Butterfly, I'll be hanging out with Sharon Danielle too. Cool. Astrology information, you just go to our products and our partners and go to Serious Joy. Try it out for $4 for a month. Give that a shot. See what it says for you. I'm pretty sure that you'll be amazed. I broke my clavicle 5 minutes ago. Oh, 5 months ago. Had lots of X-rays, went to therapy. Now it's hurting. Upper reset, but you're gonna need, with that clavicle break, you're gonna need to have the minerals, because the clavicle is lots of fascial tissue that goes through here. When you break it, the pulling of those tissues, because it's like, think about hanging a shirt off of a hanger. You got different things pulling in different directions here, so it's really important. Had a student who's having a moment, hug a tree. Yeah, calmed him down. Thanks, Dee. Appreciate that. Let's talk about your release. Maybe we can even see it. It's lump in my right breast. Hey, Dee.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Is that toe still going?
That toe is doing well. Like, I was surprised how calm I was whenever it happened. And
Is it still
I've
going right
done
now,
two
though?
baths.
Can you see
Is
it?
the toe still going?
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah. Can I turn my screen around?
Yeah, you can turn your camera around.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
It looks better. It looks better than I thought it was going to look.
Okay, so that's the toe. So so tell everybody how that happened.
So I was opening doors at school for students to walk in, and thought I would wear sandals in the middle of winter because, that's what we do when we want to ground over lunchtime. And the door just opened right over my toes and took that nail back. So instantly, after being with this community for a year and speaking into sacred body language translations for 3 years, I knew it was a message. And there was an instant, first of all, whenever that pain happened, the sensation that I always feel up here eased. So it's like a recess from the pain that I feel up here, which is why I like grounding in the cold, because it pulls that heavy energy from up here down.
That's interesting, right?
It is interesting. It goes back to that you can only feel 3 pains at a time. So again, it reiterates that it's energetic. It's emotional, energetic behind it. And at the same time, there was sensations in my liver gallbladder channel. And I let my toe be for a while. I didn't react. I didn't respond. I just sat with, why did this happen? What is the message? What is the code in it? And reached out to a couple community members because I felt like I knew what the code was. It's a lot about stepping forward and what I desire most. I was curious what meridian it was, which you said it was stomach, which for me is, I always learned that stomach was worry and grief and letting go of that.
Desire and belief.
And desire and belief.
Worry
I
and
got to
grief.
remember the upgrade.
Yeah, worry for sure. Grief more large intestine, but worry, and it's also desire and belief. And you're being asked as a Libra, you're being asked right now to quantify that belief.
Yes, I am. And I feel it. And I'm day 3 into a fast, which is this is the farthest I've gone. And it took me almost a year before I started doing fast, and I listened to my body. I didn't jump into it too fast because I have to regulate my yin and my yang to keep this under control.
So you jumped into your fast slowly.
I jumped into my fast slowly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just did not feel like going to work today was going to support the fast. So I stayed home and I'm resting, and I thought, this is really
you called in well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you called in well and didn't go to work. How do you feel third day?
Third day, I thought I would have more energy. I'm a little I choose to not use the word weak because that would have been old coding, but it's definitely some shakiness. Yeah.
It's end of the third day that you're gonna get it.
Okay.
Yeah, because your body is for 72 hours, it's still letting go of all of that last part of, but when there's no food left and to process, then because right now it's processing the food and it's processing the emotions. It's the end of the third day. And like when I was going in and out of fast for quite a while, what I would do is I'd come off like a 2-week fast but I'd come off with juices, and then I wouldn't want to eat. So I'd do juices for 3 days and then 4 days, and then I'd do smoothies and soups. And then, so those fasts were extending with juices and stuff like that into like 3 weeks and stuff like that. So when you come off slow if you can.
Mm-hmm. Will do. I joined Ashley's class this morning because I thought sound therapy sounded pretty good, and I had to sit to do maneuvers.
Yeah.
And I'm excited, I try to plan these days off where I do feel well, took a well day. And I'm going to be able to join Erin's host call. So I'm excited to be able to join Kyla or Erin's call anytime because
so you're part of the group of facilitators that's helping people that are in the 28-day reset. You do weekly classes, and what do you do in your classes?
So my coaches are Lee and Teresa. And so we start off with 30 minutes of maneuvers and just learning about different styles of doing the maneuvers or different ways to open up to the maneuvers that they come across, right? So one day we might be going deep into the jaw, and that's a whole new style that Lee might bring. She's been able to open up the clavicle for me in a whole new way that, wasn't ever in any of the trainings, but they have their own style, and I love that. And then we sit and just we talk about the astrology that's going on. We ask people to share what's weighing on their heart emotionally, what celebrations they maybe have had, what they're feeling physically, and then we tie that into the astrology, what's going on astrologically, and we create some decrees around that. This last call Wednesday was really moving. It's really cool to have people from Japan, Australia, and New Zealand joining my groups and coming back.
So
So
this is a place where people, as they're going through the releases, and they have these emotions coming up, and they're feeling kind of alone. It's a place for them to connect and be able to communicate, share what's going on, because it's hard when you're going through and people say you're sick. No, I'm not sick. I'm just
no,
detox.
it is. It's great questions for detox questions. It's great questions for support or ideas, getting ideas just with the supplements. And at the same time, if they're going through something heavy emotionally, we just ask if they would like some facilitation and go with the flow with that too.
What are you seeing out there right now?
A lot of heaviness in the heart, blocked hearts.
Yeah.
So moving forward with the true desires, a lot of patterns from like this last week, the pattern was for like 3 or 4 of them. The pattern was things that happened to them when they were 16 years old, around that age, that blocked them from trusting their heart and following their heart. And so
And how does that come up? Do they, like when they're in in the class, do they just say, I have an issue, this is what I'm dealing with, or I'm feeling something, I don't know why, and you guys work it out?
Yeah, yes, that's exactly what happens. So sometimes it's a physical sensation that they're having, and other times they actually tell us like what's bothering them emotionally. And so we go to that, what that organ or what that area of the body represents, and then we start asking them questions. So remembering specifically, I wish I could, but it was about following their heart. And so I asked them, when was the first time that you remember not being able to follow your heart, whether it was because your parents were keeping you safe or financial reasons that they couldn't allow you to do what they wanted to do. I shared my example, and then boom, the floodgates opened. It's like the aha moment sets in, that they're like, oh, I do have that memory.
Right.
And it was about the same age, you know.
Right.
So it's that what is that, the 7 years, and then, you know, every 7 years or 8 years, it's that 14 to 16 age range where they're stepping into more of their desire and power. However, society is possibly blocking them, and then that pattern is coming back up now in their 40s, and they get to make a new decision.
You know what? It's amazing that people are just starting, they're getting a win, but this is going to change in the new year we're going to be starting the resets where everybody starts at the same time.
I'm looking forward to that.
And but when we did our resets, we didn't have, when you did your reset, there was no group to go to meet. And now there's an online group that helps you get through and customize maneuvers, helps you share what's going on, work through issues or thoughts or feelings or emotions that are coming up, because it's a real thing. I mean, emotions come up and it's like, whoa, I didn't realize that, or a realization. Like for me, when I had the realization about sexual abuse when I was young, I had right away I had the lifestyle artist community for me to talk about it. That was my processing.
Yes.
And
I would do that.
Yeah.
Through the recordings.
Yeah. I mean, that was powerful. And if I didn't have that community, I would just keep it in my head. I wouldn't, because I wouldn't feel safe to talk to other people about it, because it would trigger all the, like you should do something about it, all the different advice that I don't want. Like I don't want people to tell me what to do, because in their mind they would still want, retribution. They want to get eye for an eye, and I'm like, no. The only thing I felt at that time when I discovered it was the only thing I had was compassion. And it's funny because I went yesterday to my sister's place. My sister's like a 29 degree in and intuition, right? And she raised me. So it's like funny because she's going through all these things where her intuition tells her, like, she set 4 trips up for her family and then didn't go to any one of them. They all went. And intuition was something was saying it was off. So learning to trust her intuition. Well, she started having a problem with upper right molar. And she went into the metaphysical book, and it was about feeling separated from the family or from the community and the family, right? Like an outcast. And that's what she's feeling right now. Well, the teeth that I'm currently dealing with, guess what it's about? Early childhood expression and early childhood sexual expression and sexual abuse. And like, I know the teeth and I know the the organs and the meridians, but it's like this all happened in a series of 4 things that happened right within a period of 2 hours. And it's like the chances, like like an old famous doctor, a friend of mine, was, came for some advice at that same time that I was there, talking to a lady who does Akashic records, talking about these were the areas where I was deficient in. And then my sister pulls up this metaphysical book and looking at the real reason I had these teeth, and it was these two and these two. And I'm like, oh, because I was waiting. I know they grow back. And I found a device out of University of Alberta that was created that grows back teeth in 30 days. And so I know it can happen, but I want my body to do it. I don't want to use a drug, and I don't want to use a device. I want my body to do it. That's what I want.
You
But
had me feel your teeth. You had me feel the baby one grow, like that new enamel growing back.
yeah, I mean,
Cool.
something's coming.
And I have a tooth now that, looking back, it's one of my crowns that I do have, and it responds to emotional dysregulation or fear or whatever it is that comes up for me, stress. It responds to it. So now I know it has nothing to do with the health of the tooth. It is an emotional connection to the organ that's feeling stress.
And I think that's what the lesson was for me, because again, all these things came. I had somebody talking about areas of my life where I was weak, and one of them was like my 2 energies is wisdom and self-expression, and that's what I'm here for. And very few people have 2 energies. And one of the aspects of that, the area I was low in, was in sexual energy or function, expression of that, and wisdom in it. But and then another one was family. These are 2 areas where I was low in. And of course, at the same time that I'm having that conversation, then my sister brings out the book with her tooth, and I'm helping her with the physical aspects of the tooth. And then she rolls out the book, so I just looked at mine. It's an old metaphysical book. I'll get the name. Somebody was asking for it. And then my doctor friend literally comes in the door, walks in the door. She says, "Been to Mayo Clinic. I don't trust what they're saying to me. You're my brother. I need your advice." And so I walked her through the issue, and she had a physical transformation in front of me, just getting the issue cleared up. And so that was telling me again that I was waiting for this answer. I was waiting for the reconciliation. That's when we remove trauma, it's when we go back and we get to feel why that pain was there, and we get to develop a new story. And for me, I was one of the first kids that my mom put a leash on me. I mean, I'm 54 years old, so this is like over 50 years ago. And the leash is because I was trying to express, and my self-expression was being squashed. My mom was a little Leo, but she went through her life like squashing the expression of the men in her life, like literally. But through her family, there was a lot of pedophilia, and then there was abuse through my father's family. And I know that I got a little bit, but not a lot. Enough to impact me, but not enough not enough that I was going to live in it, which was a really important component for me to feel the way I feel, to be able to do what I'm doing right now. because that's it. And first of all, these are rampant within the world. People just don't talk about it. And the world's going through this realization right now with all the sex trafficking and family abuse and stuff like that that's going on right now. So it was just all this, and all these signs come at once. Like they all clustered all in within literally within an hour and a half period. I had all these things happen.
That's a message.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I do it. That's how my higher self sends me messages, so I can't miss them.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
We have a guest.
I'm looking forward to continuing to detox, opening up new fascial layers, fascial layer flows. That's why I was excited to just stay home on the third day of the fast and do a couple classes with other people.
How long are you gonna go?
This third day is kind of, I don't know.
It's once
I
you
don't
get
go
to
to
the
work
third day,
tomorrow.
once your body kicks on ketones. Do you have any fascial fuel by any chance?
I do. I took one yesterday. It really revs me up, but I tuned in to myself and checked with my fascial language, and it told me to take one yesterday. So I did that. I didn't take any today because I just stayed home.
Yeah.
I just laid around
Well,
for a while.
check it out. I mean, but today's the day that the benefit starts today. You're over the hump. So,
Okay.
like, if you extend it another day, like if you get past today, okay. The third day is when your body's fully in ketosis, and not only in ketosis, it no longer has food to deal with. And if it doesn't have food to deal with or waste products to deal with, that's when all the healing energy starts to come. So even if you're a couple hours like that, if you stay another day, it's like see how you feel. If you can get through the night and then push it into the next day, then by tomorrow you're probably gonna go, whoa. One thing I want you to watch is it's hard because you're in that container, you don't have other people, but you're going to notice things about people, like their actions or their behaviors or the things they say. You might hear them say something you never heard them say before, because your awareness goes up in the third day. And
Okay.
and what I noticed was I was super hyper focused. What I mean by that is that I would see the physical movement in the body before they made the action or the statement. So like Cynthia, when I always joke about this, but when she's going to criticize me, her little finger goes like this. And I'm like, stop it, I know you're going to do it, stop it. She doesn't even have the thought yet. It's at the stimulation point where the thought's about to come. So recognize that you're going to see things after the third day. In the fourth day and the fifth day, you would see things that you would never ever see while you're eating food.
Okay.
It might give you a
My
little
husband's a
motivation
day
to push it another day.
So okay. My husband's a day behind me. He started a day later.
Oh, then your husband did it. Yeah, then hang in there, because
Yeah.
you'll be good. He'll be going through that last part. That third day, for the first time you do it, is a tough one. But then all of a sudden, it's like you get this energy. And it's like, whoa.
So the last time the last time I chose to do a 3-day fast, I made it to like the morning of the second day. And I have the gallbladder liver to the right trap
Yeah.
thing. And that pain was so intense. And, as teachers, we show up for our students. And I had 2 important meetings that I needed to advocate for what they needed as a special ed teacher. And I felt like I had to go to school. It wasn't like a day today where I'm like, it's an easy day to take off. They can manage
Well,
without me.
you also got the weekend.
So now I have the weekend. I timed it better.
Yeah, you don't have to show up for anybody or anything.
Nope.
And once you get over the third day, usually that draw and energy goes. But if you need to take a fascial fuel, try it out. And for you can do up to 3 of them.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
I
like
will do that.
you might find it you're like Superwoman all of a sudden.
Well, I'm working on this.
You're at home. You could do it. What
I
else?
know.
What else could go wrong? The worst thing is you'd be out there shoveling the driveway.
Yeah. I choose to really get the there's Karen Allen. She's texting me. I choose to get the the neurological program going a little bit more. I felt very stuck with it for a while. So that's what I'm hoping to get some focus and just stay with it and plan it out and feel into it some more. And working with Mark has been very different, right? Because his tremors are so much stronger
Yeah.
than Lori's.
Yeah.
So it's like making me rethink things as to how to start the program and what to say to people and ways to focus on starting slower. So
for people listening to this, she's been working with Parkinson's and having success. So using fascial maneuvers and chemical removal, stuff like that. So people can
yeah,
get
just people in my life it wasn't planned. It wasn't something I did intentionally, but the pathway opened up that way. So I would love to have that looking pretty nice by this
You know
summer.
what? You know what?
So
You might want
share
to
it with
even
you.
put up a Parkinson's support group and run some classes and stuff like that, because you need a bigger sample size. Okay?
That would be helpful. You're
Yeah.
right.
So if you
Okay.
were to like Lisa did an autoimmune support group, it would be helpful, because you don't have to be an expert. You just, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm helping people with Parkinson's. You can have them there talk about their experience too, and it'll help people out, because it's a confusing space. If I had more time, no, actually, I don't want to. I want people like you to develop it, because I don't want the world to be dependent upon me. You're learning your own way, like you said. You've learned with Mark. It's his tremor is a little different, so you have to treat it a little different, and that's the only way to do it. If I'm telling you what to do all the time, it doesn't work. But if you're figuring it out, then you're figuring it out is the course people need. I'm like so far on the other side. I've been doing Parkinson's for 15 years. So I don't remember what it was like. I'm just like, here, do this, and we can get this straight. But you have this that learning curve that you're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guest.
Thank you.
Okay, so let
Good
us
to
know
chat.
how it goes.
Will
Post
do.
up, tell us about it, and think about the Parkinson group, even if it's just a weekly class or something.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks, Steve. Who is it?
It's evolved me. I'm putting it next. Yes, there you go.
Okay.
It's evolved.
She has to request. Okay, well,
I think let's see.
is it underscore or is it all one word?
The word it's underscore evolved underscore me.
Yeah, I knew it was underscore. Evolve.
I dropped it in the chat too.
Okay,
Or just ask her to.
I don't see it. Oh, Lisa.
Um,
No, she has to put a message in the chat.
she did a little bit ago. Okay.
Oh, here it is, Scott. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
How's it going?
It's going good. Is my volume okay?
Yeah, you're perfect now.
Okay, good, good.
Sagittarius, when your birthday's almost, or are you going?
My birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday. Yeah, your birthday's tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow makes you a 24 degree. Oh, Libra Sag.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're all about balance. Okay, that's actually a pretty powerful Sag.
Yeah.
But Libra Sag goes through experiences in their life and especially in their body to share and help with others.
Okay. Well, I'll prepare for that then, definitely.
Well, you already have been. I mean, that's what jet fuel poisoning was about.
Yeah, although funny enough, like I just been feeling, I know like the last time we talked, you were saying that like, my story was going to change and that wasn't going to be like my narrative. And I'm definitely starting to feel that now that the poisoning like wasn't the big thing.
Right.
Like from when as soon as it happened and we figured out it was, that was why we were getting sick. I was like just honing in on that. Like, oh my gosh, anybody that would hear me or would ask what was wrong with me. And I would be like, oh yeah, like we drank poison water. But now.
So for people coming in, let's actually just refresh the story.
Okay. So, about a year or two ago. We're a military family. We were stationed in Hawaii, and our water was contaminated with jet fuel. So we were drinking it, cooking with it, bathing in it for a year before we were able to get off of the island. And we all got sick. My whole family got sick. So it's me, my husband, and our two kids, a son and a daughter. And everybody kind of got different sicknesses. Like my husband, healthy, never had anything wrong with him, had high blood pressure. So they were going to put him on medication for that. My kids had skin and stomach issues, and I got the worst of it, where I was having all of it. The biggest thing is what I would call episodes, which were like episodes of like, I want to say kind of like panic attacks, except that they were, maybe I just never had a panic attack before, but they were so severe. I would get heart palpitations, stomach issues. My skin was a mess. Like I was getting rashes everywhere, hives. But then the worst is like I felt stuck in fight or flight. So like anytime I would eat something or change temperatures or put a lotion on or something that I had used for years, it was giving me like a panic attack or a flight or fight thing reaction. So yeah, that was the hardest part.
And you initially got out of it by doing a stress reset 3 times a day, right?
I did. I hopped on. So I had already been back in the States and the mainland for 10 months and was doing all of the specialists, going to all of the doctors through the Army medical care, and nothing was coming up. All my tests were coming back normal and stuff, and they couldn't figure out really what was causing it. I got onto that it was probably or possibly like a nervous system dysregulation. So I started trying to do those kind of programs on my own. I found Human Garage on Instagram, jumped on a live, and I think it was like a post about panic attacks or panic, and jumped on a live, and it was like right at the beginning of the live. And so I just typed in like stuck in fight or flight, and Garry was you were just reading the comments, and you were like, just get off and go do the stress reset. And I did. And for the first time in like a year and a half, I felt a clarity. Like it was the mental clarity and the fact that I wasn't panicking. I didn't feel that panic. And so I said, okay, something's up. And so I just started doing them 3 times a day, and then did the 1 day, 3 day, 7 day, and on the 28-day reset program.
So what's changing now? How far are you in the 28-day reset?
I think I'm on day 16, 15 or 16.
Wow, almost matching your birthday.
Yeah. And I don't do like one every day because like now they have like the videos that are like an hour and a half long. So sometimes I'll get halfway through the learning part,
Yeah.
and then I'll do those resets. But I'm still doing the reset, the 15-day stress reset 3 times a day. And I started doing the organ reset every morning. So that's amazing too. And I've already done, I think, the full 45-minute reset a couple of times. Which have.
So what do you now looking back, okay, I can tell you're different. Like you feel different, your conversation's different.
Yeah.
Now looking back, and what do you feel about, because there's a lot of fear. What do you feel now? Like what's your story or what's your narrative now?
So there was a lot of fear, I think. And I had a moment where I was watching one of the lives, and it was like an emotional live, and I felt emotional, and I really don't even remember what the live was about. I just know that it was getting very emotional. And that day when I was doing the resets, I was feeling emotional, and I'm not like a very emotional person. Well, I am, but
Sagittarius. So,
I'm
yeah, I can be emotional, but it's like excitement, anger, frustration. It's like extreme versions of it.
yeah. And so during the resets, I was feeling emotional, and that's kind of where I do feel more clarity, is during the resets. Even when I'm having like a bad day or a day where I'm not as clear or motivated to do it, when I start the 15-minute resets, when I'll do like the left side, and then as soon as I get to the right side, it's clear. So like the left, be like going through the thoughts or having pain or something. But as soon as I hit the second side, and then I'm good. Like I never regret doing the 15-minute resets.
You know, when I like, I don't have this kind of differentiation today, but when we started doing the resets ourselves, like we would do all 10 maneuvers every day. That in 2020, in the beginning of the pandemic, we do it. We would go to these rocks, big boulders, and we do it overlooking the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And I got addicted to, like you turn, start breathing, you get second, but by the time I got to that second side, all of a sudden I could hear the ocean differently. I could hear the birds differently. All of a sudden I started having all these sensory processing things come in I wasn't aware of. And so I got addicted to that feeling, like you said, where it's like everything was calming down.
Mm-hmm. And I think like, so I did have a lot of good things happen besides just getting out of that fight or flight. I did have an issue with food. So because I was having these allergic reactions to food, everything I ate, I was stuck at the 4 meals every single day since July. And then I started doing the resets in October. And that day I took a bite without any fear. And it wasn't like the actual food, it was the fear. And without any fear of getting a reaction, I took a bite of something new. And it has just been progressing every day since then. And so that's been amazing. I was always having stomach issues, diarrhea in the morning, not every morning, but weekly. So that's gone. No anxiety whatsoever since I've started. Like no anxious thoughts. The other day I had like a work thing where I had to do a presentation, and normally that would set me off. My stomach would be hurting. I would have heart palpitations. And yesterday I could feel my heart rate like speed up, but it was like I was excited.
Yeah. So yeah, you get to read, because when you're in that fight or flight, when that's the emotion of excitement and anxiety is the same chemical in the body. But if I'm in stress, my brain perceives anxiety, not excitement.
Yeah. And going through the 28 days, like learning so much. I know the other day somebody said, like, you have the language, like you start to learn the language of fascia maneuvers and what it does. And I can see it now, like going through the program, I'm learning so much and so many aha moments that makes me more excited to continue. And it's not like a dependency, which is weird too, because I know when I was at my worst, I was feeling so like vulnerable and just clawing at something that was going to make me feel better. And anytime they would give me like a medication or something, I would almost feel like a dependency on it. If I even got a bit of relief, I was like, okay, every single day do this or take this. And it's not like that with the fascia maneuvers. It's something else I can't describe, but it's
Well, because what it's doing, like when you take a supplement or you do another movement, even like yoga spikes your stress to bring you down. It stretches a muscle and brings you down. Fascial maneuvers just drops off the stress so that your serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin come up right away. It's a different type of reward mechanism. It's more like doing MDMA than it is anything else. So your body gets the reward, but it doesn't have to go through pain to get the reward.
I think there was something that resonated with me in the program where it said like when your body has too much stress, you feel like almost drunk on stress. And I thought
Yes.
that was
Yeah.
such like accurate wording, because that's kind of how I felt before when I was at my worst, is that I just felt drunk on stress and I couldn't focus on anything. I had the brain fog, like I said, the heart palpitations, all of that. And that's what the fascia maneuvers did, was basically just bring me out of that. And it's such a difference. So yeah, I'm still doing the program, loving everything that I'm learning. And another thing that's resonating is that it's very similar to so I'm an indigenous person. I'm with the Tampelam Kawateca Nation out of Texas, so we're indigenous to Texas. And within our culture, we have something that's called curandismo. So that's like a system of healing. So it's kind of like we have the curandismo is like the healing part, and within that, like a doctor with different specialties. So there's like a sobandera, somebody who works with muscles, somebody who works with herbs, kind of categorized like that. And my grandmother, who raised me and adopted me when I was little, she is a healer. And she is a sobandera, so she heals people with massage. And there was, because she had 6 daughters, and her youngest daughter is who I come from. That's my birth mother. And so she couldn't take care of me when I was born. So I was adopted by my grandmother. So none of her daughters took on the healing. So they didn't do, like, it's just, you have to be born with the gift, is what they say.
So you're starting to figure out why you're going through all the pain right now.
I definitely am. And something
Okay. I was waiting for this to happen because I can tell.
really great is that
You are a healer.
within our healing practice, we do a palate swipe, and we start them for babies.
Seriously?
Yes, who have
Ah!
the babies who have issues with suckling on the mother when they're born. They bring them to my grandmother, and she does a palate swipe on them. And so when I first got into doing the fascial maneuvers, and the first thing was the palate swipe, I was like, oh my goodness,
That is so awesome.
anything, anywhere, any kind of healing do that except ours.
You know where it came from?
Where?
Well, originally it came from one of the best craniofacial pain dentists in the world. He's a Vietnamese guy, Dr. Viet in Southern California. And he would talk about how in Vietnam they have Vietnamese people typically would have the most symmetrical faces of any culture. And he would say because when they came out, they would swipe the palate right out of after birth.
Wow.
And I took that along with a craniopathy move and said, man, if it's that powerful, why wouldn't I do it every day?
Yeah. So with us, like I said, when infants are less than a month old, like newborn to a month old, sometimes they'll have issues suckling on the mother, and they won't be able to suck on the mother. So they bring them to my grandmother. And what she says is that their palate is not, it's like fallen, is what the way that we phrase it.
Sunken palate. Yeah, because they can't latch properly.
Yeah, so she will feel on their soft spot on their head and figure out which way it has fallen and which way it needs to go back. And so then she will lay the babies kind of almost upside down and
push into the palate.
But the way she twerks,
it's super powerful.
The way that
if moms did that, children would have way less problems.
Yeah.
Everything from neurological to mechanics to their hips, all connected to that palate. That palate is that the body's in 3 zones, 1, 2, and 3. Everything here that's off has a reciprocal somewhere here and somewhere here that's off.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's been a lot of things that are starting to resonate, excuse me, with me and like the culture that I come from. And like,
wow,
funny
that
enough,
is super cool. I mean, I'm super happy you're saying that because I mean, you're experiencing firsthand. We've had so many people that wanted to take this into indigenous culture, especially back into indigenous North American. And it's always somebody from the outside who wants it brought in. And I'm like, it has to be somebody who embodies it, who's a part of that culture and brings it in.
Yeah. And so when I first started to get sick in Hawaii, I had actually just joined an organization to help indigenous peoples with issues that we have to deal with in everyday life. Just kind of like bringing to light the issues so that worldwide we could connect and try to deal with those. And that organization was so great. Like the vision they had was amazing. However, someone else took over the organization, and it was physically making me sick to be a part of it because of the way it was being ran, and there was just so much clashing in it. Now, the person who originally started that organization, she now has a different organization. She's also indigenous, that's about healing. and she has been like trying to bring me on to that organization because I kind of do like project management type work. And so she was kept, recently asking me, you should come on, you should come on. And I just always felt like, not yet, like just not yet. It wasn't the time. And I think this definitely is leading me down that way, because I would love to bring fashion to Indigenous peoples, because right off the bat, we do deal with a lot, which a lot of people do, a lot of ancestral trauma and identity issues, definitely. So I did go through a big like awakening and trying to discover where my identity fit in with my adult life. But like I said, as I've continued the program, it wasn't about the water. It definitely wasn't about the water.
Yeah, your brain has to hyper focus on something. You were going through a spiritual transformation. The water, the sickness was part of what was leading you there. I could feel it when you first got online, but it wasn't time and place to tell you you're a healer.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's like you're pulling your hair out, you're on fire. So it's like, let's get the fire out first. Yeah, you're naturally born, and I knew it from your birthday, actually.
yeah. And my grandmother, like I said, since the situation that I got at birth and then was given to her and she adopted me, she had actually just lost one of her daughters. My aunt was brutally murdered the year before I was born. And then I was born into the family that was broken, had so much trauma attached to it. So my grandmother had told me from birth that I was a purpose for her, because if not, she would have not made it, because she had to take care of me because there was no one else to take care of me. So she's like, you were given to me so that I could continue to live, so I could have a purpose. And she kept me right next to her every time she did a healing, every time she did something. So I learned these skills that I never knew I was going to.
You have them embedded in you. You're starting to remember. You don't learn healing. You remember healing.
Definitely. And so now my grandmother, she's 86 years old. My grandfather, my papa, he just turned 96 on December 7th. And so my grandmother now, she's quite ill. I mean, she's still going, but she's got a lot of stomach issues. A lot of kidney issues. She's diabetic. But she came to my house the other day to visit me, and I did the organ reset on her. And first time in, I want to say 10 years, she actually had like a normal bowel movement that day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm definitely excited to kind of bring her into this world and to see her generation, kind of connect the dots. Because like I said, the way that the program, the 28-day reset, talks about the fascia and the way it connects with the healing that we did in our culture, it's like I always felt there was a piece missing in the way that we did like the healing, because it's kind of like a massage. And people, when you translate it from language to English, they would say it's very similar to like a chiropractor or a masseuse. But I'm like, there's something missing. It's deeper than that.
Yeah. It's a lost. What happens? I mean, even if you think about it, if you go 200 years or 2,000 years from now, and you take apart our language, and you try to understand what we're saying, it's like, that's so sick, it's so fat, like the commentary, the way that we use it even changes from culture to culture. There's no way to know what the meaning of things were, and that unique specific meaning. This is why, when I was saying earlier, it translates into, like, this will translate into Indigenous people when you learn it, because you can use the culture to reinforce what you're meaning. Otherwise, there's always a gap. It's like trying to translate this into different languages. We found right away that we could get the technical aspects, but the feeling wasn't transferred.
Right. And like as I go through the lessons and hear like the podcast and everything that's embedded in the program, the 28-day reset program, I start to remember these things that my grandmother says. So I have like this little notebook and now I actually upgraded and I got one of those little voice recorders, because every time she talks, I just want to write everything down, because it's like just so knowledgeable. I just want to soak it all in. but she was saying the other day about how she became a sobandera, a healer, and how she got it from her grandmother, and her mother skipped the generation because she didn't have the gift, is what they say.
It does, genetics, epigenetics skips a generation. If you want to see the impact on you, I look at your grandchildren. If I do something to you, it's your grandchildren that show it. So if I make a change in somebody, it will show up in the grandchildren. That's why it skips. There's a reason for that.
So it skipped her mother and it skipped my mother and got to me. But my grandmother was trying to explain to me how she learned about what sobandering was, like how to heal. And her grandmother explained it because they used to work in the fields picking cotton and things like that. And she explained it that our body's a river. And when there is a pebble within our water, it stops the flow. And so my grandmother is like, what I learned is to pull out the water, the river, like the bedding of the river, so that the pebble can flow.
My gosh.
Like just hearing her say that and then connecting the dots.
My gosh. I have so much, that brings me so much joy when you say that, because the one thing I've learned about this whole thing is all the stuff that we're doing in modern therapies today. I mean, even the ancient therapies, because they have been distorted, like you said. It's all about restoring flow.
Yeah.
And if we just restore flow, everything else functions. That's why people are healing with fascial maneuvers. You know what? I believe that like you came on the live, when you came on, I can't remember the day, but at the time I'm like, that's why I sent you some stuff out for your whole family. I wanted to give you enough time and space so you could find the spot in you, because I can feel it. I can feel that you're going to make a difference in the world.
Yeah. And my biggest thing is like, I just want to be able to not so much as heal like my family, because like I said, the generation that it skipped, like my biological mother's generation, she had, like I said, my grandmother had 6 daughters. 2 of them passed away already, and the 4 that are left, including my biological mother, are very ill. They have lupus. All of them have lupus, so that's 4 out of 6 of her daughters that had lupus. They have blood diseases, blood clotting disorders. And as I learned more, and I always kept, as they got sicker and sicker, I'm like, it has to be something. There has to be a connection on why this generation is so sick. And like I said, I think that because at the time that I was born, my aunt had been murdered. That's the world that I came into, is that family was sick, and all that trauma has never been discussed. It wasn't a tool that was given to them on how to deal with that. But at the same time, it was like so rare to me that we believed in this healing that comes in our culture. Like we so easily believe it. It's not like a religion or something like that. It's just something that when we're born, we believe it. Like when we get sick and we go to my grandmother for healing, we don't question it if it's going to work or not. Like we just believe it. And I just couldn't understand how that generation could be so sick and believe that my grandmother could heal the physical part of the body, but not be accepting to heal the trauma part of their body. And that was another thing, that healing from our culture, it wasn't ever just for physical. It was for emotional, for spiritual, but they explained it the same way, that the body.
There was no difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what it is. Trauma is the lack of ability to process an event that was stressful in the body. Because even if I have a repetitive small stressor in the body, over years it becomes traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
And your culture was a very good way to see it, because they didn't know what was happening, but there was a malevolent intent, to take your culture out. And the way that they did it was they polluted the body so the flow stopped.
Yeah.
The first way they did it was with alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when the body, so that's why the healing mechanisms never separated the emotional from the physical, because they're not separate.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's like, well, that's physical trauma. No, technically, if I ever stick your hand and smash it with a hammer, you have a brain injury. We don't think of it that way,
Yeah.
because the brain now has to do a lot of work to use a primary thing to move around. So I have to think more. That causes a brain trauma. And
Yeah.
and we all are connected. So that's what it was, is that in top secret military, when they want to hide something, what they do is compartmentalize it. So nobody knows all the pieces. Everybody knows their piece and only their piece. So what did we do with the human body? We compartmentalized it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back like 70, 80 years ago, there was only a dozen specialties. So now there's 600 registered specialties.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So like I said, the program has not only helped me, but it's been that connection to help me connect everything and really see it for what it is. And like I said, the more I learn, the more I am okay, and it resonates to me that the water was not the issue. And
Yeah, it was actually that was the cure. The
yeah,
water was the cure.
I can
The
look back
cure,
all
because the cure was you forgot who you were.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. And
The water brought back the trauma, enough of it so that you could find your way to remember who you really are.
there was something that I think was in the 14-day, it was like a podcast or something in the program, the 28-day program, and it said something like that we play the trauma over and over again until we're ready to deal with it. And funny enough, like when I was in Hawaii, I was dealing, like, I would replay all of the trauma in my life. Obviously, I'm an adopted child, so there's that trauma. And I was writing a book. I was writing like a memoir, and of all this stuff that I had to tell the world about my trauma, right? And I don't even know why. Like, I didn't even know why. But the day that I did the 15-minute stress reset, I threw all of that stuff away. 2 years worth of work. I just felt I didn't need it. I didn't need it.
Yeah, you were building up an energy to remember who you were.
Yeah.
And part of it is when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, we change as human beings. So your pain of staying the same, you were building up the pain to remind yourself so you wouldn't forget, organically. But once you got through it, once you saw the door, you no longer need it.
Yeah. So I did a deep cleanse in my journaling and my writing and things like that day. And I didn't even know why. I didn't know why I felt the need to just throw it away. But now I don't even feel the need to talk about it anymore, to write about it, it's no longer there. And but
you're coming into who you are.
I can see different trauma, like I said, as a family that we have to deal with it, not to deal with, but to get through, to heal through.
I've been waiting for you. It's somebody in your, like I said, the indigenous people where we've always been drawn to, but they needed somebody to go through this experience, not from the outside, not I want to bring it in, somebody to live it and have the experience. And now you're telling me the story. So I now know that you are waking up to who you really are.
I can't wait. And there's absolutely no fear. I mean, like you said, going through identity issues, like I told you, working with that organization, I knew it wasn't where I needed to be because there was a lot of judgment. Being an Indigenous person, especially in North America, it's hard.
I get it. I don't get it the way you get it, but I've been around it enough to know.
Yeah, not only like knowing who we are, but there's a lot of judgment as far as, are you Indigenous enough from your own people, from the outside world?
You get that. It's like, you're not like us. Yeah, I get
exactly. That. And so it was being Indigenous from Texas. It was different. It's always been different, but I think that the friend that I have that now has that healing organization is exactly where I needed to be and who I needed to find when I found her. Because the acceptance is more about the healing. And I just never felt like I had anything to give. I was like, I am sick. I don't feel good. Like I'm going through so much. I can't, project manage for you. But now I don't even think that that would be my place within her organization. Like
No, you're stepping into a whole new light. By the time you get into the lifestyle artist program, that's when it's really going to start to open up. This is just the tool that you're working with right now.
yeah, so I really can't wait to pass it on to.
I'm looking forward to helping, and I'm super interested in helping you bring this into the culture. So I've got to go. We got somebody else coming up right now. I'll see you through the Lifestyle Artist program. Just keep communicating. Anything that you need along the way. I think I'd like to meet your grandmother at some point.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you here in Texas.
I think I'm coming. I have a podcast to do down there, so maybe I'll just make it that way.
Yeah, she is very welcoming and very loving to anybody, and
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. It's actually important to me. I wanna connect with where it came from.
Yeah, she'll turn 87 January 22nd. So
Okay. Thanks a lot.
thank you so much, Garry.
I appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
You should have requested to come on, Marna Hodkin.
Yeah, I got it. Wow, that's quite the story. You guys remember she was like just doing fascial maneuvers that reset 3 times a day. Mara,
Hey, hey, Gary.
almost coming. What's your birthday? What day is it? Or what's your degree again? You're 28th degree, right?
I am 20, wait a second, 20,
28.
27,
Oh, 27th degree.
27. Yes,
Oh, okay. So that means that your
June 18th.
birthday is on second 28. On Tuesdays, you're technically your birthday. Your anti-birthday.
This Tuesday? This
It's your
coming?
anti-birthday. It's the
Oh,
exact opposite of your, because it'll be 27 degrees Sagittarius.
oh, I see. I
Your
do
yeah, your
have
opposite is Sagittarius. So 27-degree Sagittarius is your anti-birthday. So you're coming up to a big reflection point. That's why it feels so
wow.
weird right now.
Yeah, very weird. Interesting because my true node is Sag 19 degrees. Does that say something about?
Yeah, it's yeah, absolutely. 19 is a master level. 19 is a Taurus level. It's about manifestation, making things happen.
Mhm.
So yeah, and the true node is Sagittarius is about being the adventurer, the student, the teacher. It's really about Sagittarius is helping people. You're driven and guided by manifesting belief.
Mm. Yeah, I've been feeling that for sure, especially after join this community.
So your birthday is on. So you're 27 degrees Gemini. So your birthday
Gemini,
is on June 18th.
18th. Yep.
Yeah, June 18th.
Hmm.
And you came so that you've been doing the fashion maneuvers for how long?
Um, let's say since August was the first live that I jumped on with you. It's like I'm gonna do this, and I was just finishing the 28-day reset because I had
Okay.
my call with you guys scheduled for September, end of August, and I start LSA program in September. So, but I learned about fascia maneuvers maybe, I mean, from you, Human Garage, maybe a year and a half ago. And it took me a while to just jump on and start doing it. And I remember that conversation too, when I say what happened and what made me start. It was just like one day I just decide to get up and do it. I kept watching the lives, but just sitting and like I should just get up and do it. That's how one day I started doing that and just like, hey, let me get into the program and do the 20-day reset. And then there's more. And it's been a beautiful journey. And to get to be part of the retreat in Costa Rica was
I really,
Yeah, how was
I
that?
really
Like,
need that.
what's changed for you, like coming out of that retreat?
Um, Interesting. It's like going into, I didn't know much what to expect. I mean, okay, yeah, we're gonna do some fascia maneuvers. You're gonna learn how to maybe different maneuvers that I haven't seen online. Not know much what was gonna happen during the whole week. Um, but it was so much more than I could anticipate it. It goes even from the food we had the whole week, just being like different. I miss Joe, by the way. That
Yeah,
was amazing. Her and her team was amazing. So that tells us what our body needs sometimes, like the detox, not just stop eating, but also is eating healthier, something more
yeah. I mean,
nutritious and
that's really
eliminate
important
the
to us. If you're
toxicity.
gonna come, you eat the right food.
Yeah, so that also definitely play a huge role in the whole process of being there and healing. Um, but the sense of a community was more than I could anticipated because we talk about trust, about feeling safe, about projecting our intentions into others and how we see others and how we see the world and our beliefs. So I didn't know that was going to happen. For me, that was a huge learning and a great experience being able to be there. We see community online, which have been for I'm gonna more 10 years now, just going um, workshops and watching this and that programs and being in Facebook communities, that kind of stuff. But now that I was there, that I participated in this group, there's nothing to compare because being with people, feeling their energy and feeling their compassion, I I share things that I don't share with my friends sometimes. I don't feel comfortable. I don't trust. I don't feel safe because you feel like you're gonna expose yourself. Being here live is exposing myself, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk about myself. But in this community, we all share things that I believe we're not expecting that was gonna happen. And people tell things about their lives, that their experience, things they went through, very personal. That was a huge thing. That was healing for me as well. And that shows like we need this. That's how we heal, not just um, by listening to a book, an audio book or reading something, but it's also participating, is be there with the person, what they're going through their lives, um, and learning from them as well, because that's what we need to hear sometimes. Definitely learning more about the maneuvers, what to do, and just do it anytime. We're sitting there hanging out and go, okay, let's do this. Let me do this on you. Let me help in
Yeah,
this.
it's different when you're with people who are focused on that because there's a desire to want to figure it out. I don't have to build any energy to do it. Like everybody's open to do it. So it's fun. I actually enjoy doing maneuvers. I enjoy working with people when we're in that environment.
Yeah, that was the work you did. I mean, we ended up doing some work together and appreciate that so much because really helped me a lot. You saw our friend, our community was there. They saw what I went through. Was I didn't expect that, and it was huge. It was um, something that we need to just be open to, is accept it. And on that note, you just a good point for who's working with the body, even if you're doing working yourself or helping someone else, is just to be aware and open what's going to happen, what may happen, because the crying is going to happen. Someone cry, and I talked to someone the other day, and it's like, oh, I don't cry, or you hold your emotions back. But we're just, I guess we're just like programmed to do that. You're not supposed to cry. Now, if you cry,
Hmm.
you show your weakness. And like, why am I crying? And I question myself. There's one of those moments like, uh, and say, I don't. You want to hide your emotions, but you get to a point. It's not even about hiding or not hiding your emotions. Just come out. You don't even know where that comes from. And that made me understand why one day I was doing yoga here at home. And I was doing the hip release. Now I know except the hip release kind of names what I was doing. I was just sitting almost like a frog, stand kind of thing. And all of a sudden I felt like I want to cry. I was like, what's going on here? I wasn't thinking about anything or I don't talk to anyone. Like, what is this? Now I understand that my body was releasing some emotions that being trapped in my body. I didn't even know. So the importance for me in that the point is like, if if I'm working with someone, like that's what I would love to do. That's what I'm um, working on to be able to help others, but first help myself, understanding myself first is when this happened, not judge anyone, not judge even myself, and
Mhm.
just accept that. And that was huge work with Lee and I worked together as well. And she held a beautiful space for me. And she didn't question, like, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? And we do that to ourselves because I did what's wrong? What am I crying? I don't know. No one said anything to me. Is really accept that something needs to be released. And I love the analogy used for the fascia for us to understand the layers, the phyllodoe, everything's nice. I guess the babies, when they come out, we're all like that. So much gooey, everything moving. But then as you grow, we get older, like become into a pie and stuck, right?
Yeah,
So
stuck like a pie. Yeah.
so I guess like when you get that become to that stuck moment, everything that was in between those layers are stuck in there. They're still
Yeah.
there. And so
Yeah.
everything we've been programmed, all the pains, all the beliefs we have, good or bad, everything, it's there, it's stuck. So but my understanding now and that week in Costa Rica was really an eye-opening for me is like I need to really kept start moving those fascias to be able to get back to at least open up and I can release and can let go what's not supposed to be there and just open so I can insert good things back in there. So to me, that's how I've been working on my process and just do more maneuvers anytime. Just don't expect for when I feel this or I feel that, just keep doing it.
So what was it like
Definitely works.
coming back into your life after being there for a week?
It was tough. I think the whole detox process it takes my body for me it took longer than I was anticipating. Um,
It's more than people would think. That's that's what we keep saying. People they're like, no, I've been doing retreats. I know what it is.
mhm.
It it's hard to explain, but it's so transformative.
It is, and it was hard because I just this week I reached out to the community again. I really went to a hibernate mode, better way of saying it. Felt like mm, super introverted. No, don't want to talk. I don't want to go any place. I just want to stay home. That's how I felt for
Yeah.
maybe 2 weeks. And the other
We
stuff,
did too. We did too. I mean, I have commitments and I'm out there, but for the most part, I manage those commitments, but shut right down after a big event like that.
yeah, yeah. And other events happen in our community as well here with friends, and then it's kind of just make you feel a little more, um, a little bit of sad because things are going on around us that we can control, of course, and then people are not healthy. So that takes an effect on us too, because people that we love, we care about. So that also takes a little more like what's life about, and I just want to go inside and um, just understand what's going on and try to make sense of things, but know that I have to take care of myself first. That's for sure. Um, but it's been definitely a great experience. And what the conversation we had, just learning about Jason, like someone mentioned here today too about Jason, how he expressed things. And I really recommend people start following him too. It's such a different,
Yeah,
you and
he's a different.
Jason.
He's. I have never worked with anybody in all my years. I've had 20,000 employees I've worked with. I never worked with anybody that has the maturity and capacity to understand processes, shift perception, and do stuff. He produces like when you say a Renaissance man. He is one. I've never met
Hmm.
anybody like him in my life. It's
Yeah.
it's it's hard to get my head around sometimes, but
Yeah, yeah. We had our table, our conversation, lunchtime or breakfast. Like we keep having different groups. You see, that was a great dynamic too for the retreats, get to know everyone. And one of the conversations is just it just gives you an idea that you don't think that way, that you could like you want to help others. Like you say, oh, that's probably my I learned in a hard way. Keep wanting to help people, but they're not ready for that yet. So and we had that conversation, and I actually got physically sick about 2 years ago when I was trying to help. So I felt in my body. So that wasn't a good approach. And our conversation said just be the light, just shine brighter. Then
Yeah,
when you're shining, you take care of your light, so others can see. You can. To me now today is like I can inspire others to do what I'm
yeah.
doing.
They have
So
to, they have to want it. Otherwise, it's a waste of energy. It's actually negative.
it is, yeah. It didn't work that way, so that's for sure. And but just watching Jason lives now too. The other day, he really guided this lady through her what she needed that day. It was amazing because you don't see that when he started talking. I was like, okay, where is this going? Where is he going with this? But just keep listening. He just guide you through what you needed, and in a very deep way, understanding the human being, but not telling you what to do, but helping you to figure out what you need, where you're coming from with that. So what's causing? So it's a very interesting conversation to have. So yeah, Jason's been, it was a great conversation. And then all the classes we have, all the workshops, and listen to everybody's experience in that community was um, very helpful, I'd say.
Well, about that. Pause for a
I
second.
lost
So
you. I lost you a little bit.
it was really nice getting to know you at the retreat. It's fun to see your approach because your learning curve. You can actually document it because I watched you come online. I met with you on a live. I saw you come to, get in the 28 day and the lifestyle artist. I saw you come to retreat. So you see the steady progression of how you've been learning and growing. And it's really, really fun to watch.
No, it's been a great journey, and I know it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Now is like opens up so much that we can that I know I can do and learn for myself and share. Because I say I love teaching, but some told me back that I just keep this knowledge for myself. Like, what am I doing? Why am I sharing? So what am I missing? What's the the piece that I need to?
You're just looking for peace on the beach.
All
Inside
Brazilians
joke.
out there.
No one will get that one.
No, maybe the Brazilian will. By the way, I saw
If you
a friend of mine saying hello here. Thank you. So, this is so sweet. I didn't know she was gonna be here. So all the way my hometown right there. This is beautiful. So I do want to commit to that and have Human Garage content available in Portuguese. I think that's my start
we
right here.
need it again, it's like I was talking to the lady earlier. It's that we need to. It can't be a translation. Translations don't work. It has to be somebody
No,
who does it because you're conveying feeling and you do that through words, but it's emotions are
exactly.
conveying. That's why. So Portuguese, we're looking forward to.
No, exactly. In translation, I've been working translation past 10, 15 years, and I've review
Oh, that's
translation
right.
like,
You actually
no,
do
this
that for a
is,
living.
I do, yeah, I
I
do,
forgot about that.
I
You
do,
actually do that for a living. Yeah.
yeah. And I've seen
Yeah.
translation like, okay, this is a totally machine. No, I need someone. You need to, of course, you can run through AI today. We know it's,
Yeah,
but we need
it's
the
about
human
conveying a
touch.
feeling. It's
Yes,
using words to convey a feeling, and those are culture.
exactly. You know, you
Yeah,
have to, it's not a translation. You have to really translate the feelings and understand how you're going to do
yeah,
it, not
yeah.
word per word, but
Yeah.
exactly the how to communicate that. So, and I that's my project. That's on my plan now to do it.
Perfect. I'm going to hold you to it.
Was that? Sorry, I missed
I
it.
said I'm going to hold you to it. That's what
Yes,
we need.
please. I do need that. I know. When someone, okay, this is what you're gonna do today. All right, I'll get it done. Like, okay, should I do this today or not? Like, oh, I don't know. And that not believing that I can. Talk about beliefs, right? So that's the belief. Can I do this? Yes, I know. I've done a lot in my life. I know I can. So it's just a matter of like commit to it and really connect to my why. And
Right.
that's something about why I have not taken care of myself um, better up to this point. Is like, but why? Why do I care? Why do I care to care for myself? First of all, what's important for me? So, what's my why of doing this? So, I know my why. So, I need to remind myself every day and commit to that. So, that's the that's the point for me here.
I'm looking forward to what this brings. It's so nice been getting to know you. Thank you for sharing your
Likewise.
experiences with your journey through the resets all the way through to the retreat. And can't wait to come down there. Actually, well, you're in Northern California, so maybe.
Sacramento, I just learned that you were here a year ago, so I didn't, or 2 years, I guess.
Yeah, we were
And
there. Yeah, a year and a half ago. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so I didn't know we did that time. So yeah,
yeah.
that'll be really
Yeah, we'll
nice for you
probably
guys
be
to come
back there
over
at some
here.
point. I can imagine.
No, yeah. And there's a lot of trails over here. I know you look for natural spots. So where I live, you enjoy that. You and Cynthia would definitely enjoy here. Lakes and trails will be fun. In touch nature. Try what I learned about that too, and what's great about the retreat, Jason. And you guys had a great program for us to be in touch with nature.
Yeah,
Go to the
yeah.
beach, go to the trails. That was amazing. One day I was like, do I want to go with the long hiking? And I was like, I came here for this. Why am I gonna be sitting in my bedroom or just by the pool? That was not the point. So no, I'm going. It was a longer hike. It was amazing. And what we experienced during that moment too is like what comes out to you wasn't just to go to see the waterfalls. It's what do you
It's
go
the
through?
experience of getting there. Yeah, yeah. The emotions that
Yes.
was designed to bring emotions out of people.
And I had it. I had the fear of water came up to me in that moment. Say why? And I know where that comes from, and I know where I need to heal from that experience. A situation happened. It was about I know between 8 or 10 years old. My sister and I playing in the water. Mom got scared. We were gonna drown or not. Like that was a little event. So it took me back to that moment right away. So I know so it's something I need to heal
Yeah,
from
that
that
was a healing. That
came.
was a healing.
Yeah, so it
So
was it was the whole thing
you got some
important.
interesting things coming up on Saturday. It's an interesting one for you, but you're going to have between Saturday and Tuesday or Wednesday morning, you're going to have a series of realizations.
Ooh,
So
I'm
I'm
ready.
interested to see how this goes. You have to share them with me.
Me too. I'm gonna make sure a journal about it. It's always good to do that.
Okay, Mara, thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you, Gary.
Appreciate you coming on and
Appreciate
sharing.
you all.
Okay,
Bye, guys.
bye. And if you haven't done it yet, a couple things. Go over to our YouTube and subscribe. Sign up and subscribe. If you haven't also done it, if you're starting the 28-day reset, it's time to do it. We're also going to have group resets starting in the new year. But get in and try it out right now. Don't wait. If you're anywhere in Vancouver, get to the event that's happening tomorrow. And also on top of it, if you can get to, if you haven't done it yet, the autoimmune workshop that we're doing on Sunday. So this Sunday, we're going to be going through the reasons why. And I'm going to tell you right now, most people have an autoimmune, they just don't know it yet. So this applies to everybody. But if you're specifically dealing with autoimmune symptoms, this is going to be a heavy wake up call for you. So if you know anybody, this is online, so everybody can do it worldwide. And it's 8 a.m. Pacific time on Sunday. Okay, Mara lives in Sacramento. Okay, everybody, take care. Have a great day.